Hi, I'm Emma Lou, the Creative Director with Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm sharing some of my favorite ways to add a focal sentiment. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's really hard to add the correct or the right sentiment to a card. So we're going to use an interactive die. Great focal sentiment using the Everyday Heroes collection. This collection helps you celebrate the inspiring people in your life, the people you look up to that have really made a difference in your life. We're going to be creating the elements for this card, and to start it out we're going to stamp the Everyday Hero newsprint that comes in this package. And when you flip this around you can see that a little bit better, but you get the arrow and that you inspire me along with this beautiful background that I have been using for so many different projects. So to get started, I will use this card base. It has that flap in the center, the folds on the side, and I cut this in 8.5 by 5.5, and then the scores are on either side at 2 1/4. So we are going to go ahead and just lay that down. I'm having a scrap piece of white paper. I'm just going to move that to the side. And then we're using a rose coral chalk ink. So just make sure that it's inked up very well. And then for this sentiment, you can just basically, we're stamping it as a background. So I'm just going to kind of bump that right up to the edge. I do want to make sure that I have that stamp straight, so I'll just go ahead, just give that some firm, even pressure. So you have that on the background, and then you want to just fill in a little bit more. This one is very easy to add a second image underneath it. So let's just pull this background paper down just a little bit. And I am going to fill in like right in here, so we'll stamp that 2 times. So you have this stamped on the side, so that kind of really makes it look like the newspaper background, and then we're ready to start with the elements for the center of the card. To stamp the images, I'm using this arrow, I'm using this circle and this one. So to get started, we're going to use the rose coral chalk ink, and we're going to ink up this arrow. And then we'll stamp a cute little sentiment on the inside. I'm just stamping on a white, plain smooth cardstock. Just give that some firm, even pressure so you've got your arrow. And then I'm going to switch, and I'm using the rose coral ink again to stamp this circle. Now this circle actually gets cut out with a large decorative die in the Everyday Heroes set. So I'm going to stamp that kind of in the center because that has more of an edge. Then once you're finished with that, you're going to go back and just switch the acrylic black, and we're going to do another color of ink. Do you see I have a little spot of ink in the center? That means I had squeezed a little bit too hard. If you have that happen, you can either restamp or you can just clean the center of your image. I try to usually not get too much ink in the middle there. So we'll just ink that up, stamp that. And then the last image we need to stamp yet is just to remove this arrow, and I'm putting the Celebrating You. Now the cool thing about these sentiments is you can actually split them and you can make it wider. So like this Best Wishes, that was all together like the Celebrating You, but she inked the best, stamped that, and then she inked the wishes and stamped that on this side, so you can actually fill up the entire image if you wanted to. So I'm going to ink this up with the Ice Jade Brilliance ink, and we're going to stamp that. Let's just move this over. We're going to stamp that on this side of the arrow. Just kind of, you can use what I call the eyeballing technique, or if you want it more precise, you can also use a stamp positioner, which will work great to stamp those sentiments in the center. Once you've done that, you're ready to use the dies to line them up and cut it out. This is the Everyday Heroes set. You'll see on the back you have this decorative die, you have the arrow, you have a world globe, you have the anchor, and then this circle. So to line these up, to cut them out, I'll just place each of these dies on top. Once you have those positioned, you'll just take a piece of tape. For this one, the blade is right on the edge. So once that's lined up, I'm just going to hold that in place. We'll just tape that. And then you'll see this is the decorative die. So for this one, this actually cuts out this circle sentiment. So you can actually just kind of position that. You'll see that the words are even on all the way around the inside, so that's going to be good. So we'll go ahead and tape this. And then we have this die. This will cut out all of your circles like this. So once you have that positioned, just go ahead and tape these, and then you can go ahead and run these through like your Big Shot, your Cuttlebug. I'm going to use the Vagabond and cut those out. So once you have those dies all cut out, you're ready to add it to your card. So I just added 2 pop dots on the back of this die cut piece. So you have your sentiment circle all the way around the edge. So we'll just kind of position this to the center of the card, and it's only glued on that opposite side, so that will open up perfectly. And then we're going to add this arrow. So we're going to feed that through. So that will come through on this side, so I'll just pull that through. And once that's in position, you can glue that together if you like, but it is quite firm, so I will usually just kind of keep those two together. Then we'll go back and add a foam dot on the back of this, and just peel away the reverse side. And then you can go ahead and position this right into the center of that sentiment. So this is really a very, like over here's the finished version. This one I added the glitter, the little pearl. So this is a very delicate or a very feminine way to use these sentiments. There are so many different options with the different die and stamps in this collection. So here you'll see the die in the background on this beautiful card with the florals. You'll also see that we use the die in conjunction with different aspects of the card. So here we made it with a rose, and then here's a different fanciful card with that sentiment on the side like this. We also have the sentiments in this set that I had shown you earlier, and one thing I loved is this kind of like this Father's Day type card that you can just bring out like this, so that's a very nice interactive way to use that one as well. We also have this My Hero background that is stamped. Here she sectioned it into little squares. Here, this is just absolutely beautiful how she used it with the boots kind of cut out, but that one looks like this, and you'll see it better on the background there. You can kind of see that's a background image that you can kind of highlight different components of it. Then we also have this stamp set called My World. This one is a background as well that you can add elements to. So it's kind of like a matte background with the globe that you can 3D and put on top. So here you'll see the sentiments with the globe. You'll see that word background. Here it's colored a little bit, very distressed along the edges. And then this one just opens up very beautifully, and you have this inside flap. So there you have the newsprint background, you have the sentiment. So that will just close up like this. Then we also have another set of sentiments. It's called the You Inspire Me. It has a couple circles. It has a saying in the inside, and some of those sayings were used in this tag on the inside. There's actually 2 sides to this. Then it was used on this side. And then we also have the different die cut elements along with some of the sentiments in here. And with this one, this is another version of the first card that you had seen with the newsprint flap that opened up. So you'll see the newsprint background in here. This was also done with the papers, the die, and here you see the newsprint background in the back. So that one comes with the You Inspire Me, the arrow, and the newsprint background stamp. That's one of my favorites, as you can probably tell by how often we use that. Another one is this sailboat. It's called My Anchor, and that one has kind of the background words along with the anchor that you can cut out with the die. And for that one, here we actually cut it out with the paper. You have the arrows coming out of the side, and here it's colored beautifully. Over here we just stamped and heat embossed it and added a lot of embellishments around the edges. And then here that boat is just cut out very beautifully and colored as well. To finish it off, this layout was really done with a lot of the different paper elements, the tags. I'm going to show how to do this layout in my next video. Here's another layout that we did using a lot of the die cuts and a lot of the sentiments in the paper collection. The paper collection really is a combination of like beautiful blues and greens and blacks and browns, and you can see on the website the up close and personal textures and colors of that paper. I know you saw so many samples in this video. I have those in the gallery with complete instructions, so make sure you check that out there. And as a special thank you for watching this YouTube video, you can plug in Everyday Hero 5 at checkout when you place an order of $50 or more by April 22nd, and you will get $5 off your order. Make sure to leave a comment below and tell me what you loved about the video, what you'd like to see in future videos. As always, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you next time.